Your body has a kill list. Right now, inside your stomach, there is acid dissolving everything you swallowed today. It is strong enough to strip paint, and you still get sick from a glass of bad water. But somewhere across town, a dog just buried its face in a puddle that has been rotting since last week. Green, warm, smelling like something died nearby. And in 20 minutes, it will be running laps around your yard. You might assume animals have some kind of superpower, a secret immunity, a tougher stomach, a different biology. But that is not what is happening. The truth is stranger, older, and more personal than that. Because once you understand what is actually inside an animal's body, you will start to wonder what happened to yours. Stay until the end. The last part will change the way you think about your own gut forever. Let's start with the thing that seems obvious but isn't. Animals do get sick from dirty water. In the wild, contaminated sources kill creatures every single season, but you almost never see it. When an animal gets seriously ill, it disappears. It hides in thick grass, under roots, behind rocks. It either recovers alone or it dies alone. You never witness that part. What you see is the animal that walked away. The ones that didn't are already gone. Scientists call this survivorship bias. You are watching a highlight reel, not the full story. But here's the part that matters. Animals do survive these encounters at a rate that should be impossible by human standards. And the reason why is a system so layered, so old, so engineered by evolution that it operates like a fortress with 5 separate walls. The first wall is built before anything even reaches the stomach. It starts in the mouth. Dog saliva is not just water. It is an active chemical environment loaded with weapons. There is an enzyme called lysozyme. It physically punches holes in bacterial cell walls. There is lactoferrin, a protein that binds to iron, and since bacteria need iron to survive, it essentially starves them before they can multiply. There are immunoglobulins, antibodies actively patrolling the saliva, tagging invaders on contact. So, the moment that filthy water enters a dog's mouth, the battle has already begun. Not perfectly, not completely, but the bacteria count drops before it even reaches the throat. Cats carry a nearly identical system. It is why they groom with such obsessive precision. Every time a cat licks its own fur, it is applying a thin layer of antimicrobial chemistry. That is not vanity. That is maintenance. Horses, meanwhile, produce up to 10 liters of saliva every single day. That constant flow dilutes and neutralizes incoming pathogens before they ever reach the stomach. The mouth is not just an entry point, it is the first checkpoint. But here's what's strange. Even if something survives the mouth, the next stop is where things get extreme. Your stomach acid sits between pH 1.5 and 3.5. That is already strong enough to feel dangerous. A dog's stomach acid measures between pH 1.0 and 1.5, up to 10 times more corrosive than yours. To understand what that means, that acid can dissolve bone. Not slowly, not with effort. A raw femur left in a dog's stomach breaks down completely. Any bacteria that survives the saliva and drops into that environment enters what is essentially a chemical furnace. Most pathogens die instantly. The ones that don't are already weakened. And then comes the speed. Dogs and cats have short digestive tracts relative to their size. Food moves through fast. That matters more than people realize. Bacteria need time to colonize. They need to attach, divide, multiply. In a human gut, digested material can linger long enough for harmful microbes to build a foothold. In a dog, that window is dramatically shorter. The system is designed for throughput, not comfort. Bacteria barely have time to orient themselves before they are already outside. So what actually happened is that only the beginning. Because there is a third defense, and it is the most fascinating one. Inside every healthy animal's gut lives a civilization. Billions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, archaea, that have been building their ecosystem inside that body for the animal's entire life. This is called the microbiome. And in a wild animal, it functions like a standing army that never goes off duty. Here is the critical part. When a dog drinks from the same stream, the same park puddle, the same muddy bowl every week, something remarkable happens over time. The immune system catalogs the bacteria it encounters. The microbiome shifts to accommodate them. The body stops treating them as invaders and starts treating them as known variables. It is not immunity, it is familiarity. And familiarity, in biology, is a form of armor. A wild dog drinking from its usual source has a calibrated response ready before the bacteria even arrive. A domestic dog raised on filtered tap water suddenly drinking from an unknown outdoor source? Completely different story. Its microbiome has never encountered that specific bacterial community. There is no ready response. The same dirty water, two different outcomes. The difference is not the water, it is the history of the gut. But here's what no one talks about with horses. Horses are herbivores. Their entire digestive architecture is built on a different blueprint. They are what biologists call hindgut fermenters. Most of their digestion does not happen in the stomach at all. It happens in a massive fermentation chamber, the cecum and large intestine. In a full-grown horse, the gastrointestinal tract can hold over 200 liters of material. Inside that space lives one of the most diverse microbial ecosystems in the animal kingdom. Thousands of bacterial species, all competing, all established, all perfectly adapted to that horse's specific diet and environment. When a horse drinks from a river and swallows some unwanted bacteria, those pathogens do not land in empty territory. They land in the middle of a thriving, crowded civilization that has already claimed every available resource. They are outcompeted simply by the scale of what is already there. It is a completely different defense than a dog's acid furnace. But it works. The fortress is not built from acid, it is built from density. The flip side is real, though. Horses are extremely sensitive to disruption. A sudden change in diet, a course of antibiotics, a spell of stress, any of these can collapse that ecosystem in hours. The same mechanism that protects them is the source of their greatest vulnerability, which is why horse owners and veterinarians treat gut health with a seriousness that borders on reverence. Now, back to you. Why can't your body do any of this? The honest answer is that it used to be closer. For most of human history, clean treated water did not exist. People drank from rivers, from wells, from streams. Waterborne disease was one of the leading causes of death across nearly every civilization for thousands of years. But populations with long exposure to local water sources did develop microbiomes with some degree of tolerance. The body was adapting, slowly, imperfectly, but adapting. Then something changed. Around 600,000 years ago, early humans discovered fire. Cooking food meant killing pathogens before they entered the body. The stomach no longer needed to be a furnace if the fire did the work first. Over generations, stomach acid softened, digestive speed adjusted. The body outsourced its filtration to the environment. And then came modern water treatment, one of the greatest public health achievements in all of human history. Chlorination alone has saved hundreds of millions of lives. But the trade-off was invisible and permanent. Our bodies are now calibrated for cleanliness. Our microbiomes are less hardened because they encounter less. Our stomach acid is less aggressive because we cook before we swallow. We did not get weaker. We redirected the effort outward. The dog evolved a kill chamber in its stomach. We built water treatment plants. Different solutions to the same ancient problem, and ours scales better. But it came at a cost. So the next time you watch an animal drink from something that looks like it should be condemned, you are watching millions of years of engineering in real time. The saliva moves first, enzymes disabling bacteria before they reach the throat. Then the acid, corrosive enough to dissolve bone, strips out what survived. Then the short digestive tract robs bacteria of the time they need to cause damage. And underneath all of that runs the microbiome, a living archive of every environment that animal has ever encountered, ready to respond before the threat even registers. 5 defenses. Layered, invisible, ancient. But here is the thing that should stay with you. That system is not gone in you. It is just dormant. Your gut microbiome is still doing what it can with what you give it. The question is what you are giving it. Because inside your body right now, there is a civilization waiting to be built. And every single thing you eat, every environment you expose yourself to, is either writing its history or erasing it. The dog did not choose its biology, but you are choosing yours every single day. And that choice, it turns out, is older than you think.